Alright, you guys, so it's been almost a month since we've done one of these, working on other projects, and of course Thanksgiving weekend, so yeah, so we're back doing more Pokemon stuff. I'm finding it really hard to try to find stuff to talk about, so I don't know, let's talk about last year's vacation for me, because it's something for me to talk about. Okay, so last year, my mom and I went to Pickett, Tennessee. If you've never been there, Pickett, Tennessee is the state park that is on the border between Tennessee and Kentucky. And I had gone there with my mom and dad when I was, I want to say 14. So been about 20, a little over 20 years. And when I was a kid, I hated going on vacation like that. I wanted to stay home and watch TV. And at that time, I think I was big into Digimon. And I think Pokemon was still big in my life. So yeah, I didn't want to go anywhere. But can't really remember too much about what that was like as a kid. I only remember bits and pieces of it. But Pickett was one of the most beautiful places I had been to. Left a big impression. And after 20 years, I wanted to go back. So we had gone in November. We got back 2 days before Thanksgiving, and it drove my sister crazy because, you know, she's the one that basically does all the cooking for Thanksgiving. My mom and I help, but she gets Thanksgiving, I get Christmas, so. It sucked because the Wednesday that I got off of work, I wanted to get off early because to get to Pickett, I was dumb enough to not have a break driving up there. If you don't go by highway, it can take about 14 to 15 hours, depending if you stop and have lunch and breakfast, or breakfast and lunch. And the schedule for me was to leave at around 2 a.m. because check-in was around, their office closed at 4, so to get the keys. And yeah, at work, I had asked one of my coworkers if she would come in early. She didn't, so yeah, I probably got an hour of sleep. But I only got an hour of sleep before I went to the Philippines, so there was that. So we're going to start off with Spupa, Meditite, Energy Switch. We have a Grimer, this thing, Zangoose, Sojourn, Scatterbug. A really cool looking, the Slowpoke one, but I've already got. And the Miraidon one, so I'm pretty sure we've already got that one. I'll put that one to the side because I don't remember that one's color. So the ride up was nice. I mean, it's because we passed by Madison and Cherry Lake. It's amazing to me of where I am and how quickly you can get into Georgia. It's only like an hour or maybe 10 minutes from the border. And that's, like I said, that's if you don't take I-75 or whatever highway that it is. I just take the back roads for the scenic routes. Pretty much nothing eventful happened. We stopped at McDowell near Griffin. That's when we had breakfast. But if you looked at my Instagram at that time, you saw that we stopped at this little cemetery, Hicks Cemetery, and I've passed it many, many times. It's not marked on the map on Google, which sucks. So I may come across it again one day. I may not. It was just a cute little cemetery. And of course, though, guys, it was cold. Last year was cold in November, and it got even colder as we went up. So, yeah, we had stopped at McDowell for, or was it Griffin? I know they're kind of interjected and intertwined, and that was fun. Not the greatest. A lot of construction around there. I prefer Tifton, but by the time we got to Tifton, Cracker Barrel would have still been closed. Cracker Barrel is always the place that we stop for breakfast. I mean, we're in the South. That's where you stop. So we had gone up, and I'm trying to think of anything memorable that we saw. Not really. I mean, the foothills of Georgia are just breathtaking, guys. I would love to live in Georgia. I'd rather live in northern Georgia. But the one thing that really got to me, and that kind of ruined part of the vacation, was when we got into Tennessee, I wanted to stop for lunch, and my mom wanted to drive. And so we stopped at a Bojangles, and I got a nice chicken sandwich and everything. And Mom was driving. I took out this big, massive chicken sandwich. My God, it was beautiful. It smelled so good. Bit down, and I heard a crack in my mouth. And, yep, split the top molar. The first molar, I think it was like the first molar, or it was the second molar. Yep, split it. And I could feel it as I was biting down. It was moving. Oh, God, you talk about pain. Yeah, that was horrid. Didn't lose a filling, but it was just like my tooth had cracked. Oh, God, that was horrible. It was horrible. I didn't tell my mom until day 2 when we went to Mammoth Cave. We'll get to that. But anyway, didn't let it deter me. We got up there. We were cutting it very close when we got into the actual state park. We had there's a town that's close to Jamestown, to Pickett, called Jamestown, and it's a very small community and everything. It's grown over the years. I remember as a kid that Jamestown pretty much was a school. You had some houses, and then you had the Walmart. And I remember that was a huge Walmart. I was wrong. That is a small Walmart. And as a kid, you're kind of thinking, "Wow, that's a big Walmart." No, it's a small Walmart. But I didn't go there until day 2 or day 1, because I don't count when we arrive as day 1. So we got there. We didn't have any supplies, and by the time we got there, it was kind of late. We were tired. We got our keys, and just basically made some eggs, and Mom had brought some bacon and some bread or biscuits. I forget what it was. And that was a nice little dinner for the night. And understand, I paid for the villas. So the villas it's a bigger cabin. Now you can get the rustic cabins, but they don't come with 2 beds. So, it was great because the villas have the kitchen, you have the living area, and you have 2 basic bedrooms. You have the bedroom off to the side, and then you have another bedroom, and then you have the bathroom, which is kind of smaller. And then you have the master bedroom, and it has a bathroom. And funny story about that. We'll get to that. Squawkabilly, Caps Kid, this thing, Pokmon, Fortress, Rocky Hill, Massa, boring. Professor's Research, I've already got. Damn it. So, funny story about that. So, when we first went to Pickett, like I said, I was about 14, playing Final Fantasy VIII on a portable PlayStation 1. My parents never looked at the villa. They didn't look around the place when they arrived. They just said, "Oh, there's a bedroom over to the side. Why don't you take that one?" And so I did. And it was this massive bedroom and an even bigger bathroom. And it pissed my dad off when we left, because he's like, "You had the master bedroom and you didn't tell us?" For one thing, I didn't know. I mean, we had our fair share of mice, but not when we went. That was fun. It was really nice. And of course, they've got the gas fireplace that you could set it for like 30 minutes and it just, bursts up into flame. They had the little outdoor area that you could eat. The grill was garbage, basically. They don't keep them clean. They don't have anybody go out there to scrape all the crud out of there. So that's kind of a pain in the ass. And those metal grills and everything are just a pain to work with. But we only grilled one time on that, so that was fine. But day 1, got up, and I went grocery shopping. Mom didn't want to go. I let her sleep. Because day 1, we weren't going to do anything. Day 1 was basically... I guess we did get up and go hiking. We went to this small trail, the three island trail. I forget what it's called. We went around the swimming area, across the bridge. Mom got tired after that one, and I went through to see Hazard Cave, Natural Bridge, and then I stupidly got on this 3-mile trail. And the thing is, though, they had it roped off on one side of the 3-island trail. I know I'm probably mispronouncing that. It said closed due to damage, I guess. However, they didn't close it off on the other sides, because when you got off Natural Bridge, it connected to that route, and there was no sign. So I'm like, wait a minute, I should be back by now. That got scary, because the you got to this open area that had a bridge, a wooden bridge that had been washed out. Like, there was, like, destruction there. I don't know if they had, like, a tornado or something. I doubt it. Or a flood. But it took forever to find the actual trail to get back on the trail. And going back would have taken too much time. And I didn't want to run out of cell service just in case. Got back on. It took, like another half an hour, 45 minutes to get back. And that's when I went shopping. Went to Jamestown. Got some great supplies. And cooked for my mom. I made macaroni with the 3 tricolor noodles, fried up some chicken, and made, I think it was succotash, which succotash for us is corn and lima beans. I mean, a vegetable. It was good. And we put on Spider-Man. Holy crap. I have not watched Spider-Man 1. I think I've only seen Spider-Man 1 once when I was a kid, and I thought it was so cool. Tried to watch it then. Oh, God, it was so stupid. Spider-Man 1 is absolutely horrid. Now, Spider-Man 2, and a little bit of Spider-Man 3, but Spider-Man 2 with Dr. Octopus was just perfect. And then we get to day 2. But we have Ugly Ass Fish, we have Cacnea, Sandile, Marie, Penny, Metachan, Quaxley, this thing, and Iron Tread, which I've already got. Damn it. So the first big trip that we wanted to take while in Pickett was to go to Mammoth Cave. And we had crossed into Kentucky the same route, because there's only one route into Kentucky from the state park. It's just one road that leads in there. And of course then my tooth was just throbbing. We hadn't gone to Mammoth Cave in God knows how long. I don't remember how old I was when we went. And the drive there was nice too. No snow. If you're wondering, no snow. The mountains, though, just absolutely breathtaking. So what we did, we got there, we stopped at Cracker Barrel, naturally, and I got these chicken and waffles. I had to eat on the other side of my mouth because, oh God, it hurt so bad. And then we got up there, and there was this Little Hope Cemetery. That's what it's called, Little Hope Cemetery, and there's pictures on my Instagram if you want to go check those out. I love cemetery, guys. And one thing that I really loved, we went and checked in at the Mammoth Cave State Park, but our tour wasn't for like another 2 hours. I think it was like another 2 hours or like an hour or something. So we decided to go back and check out the little cemetery. And what I love about these old cemeteries is that there's no churches nearby. This one's not connected to a church. It's just by itself. There might have been a community nearby at one time, but yeah, no one had been buried there for maybe a century. So, and what I love is that there was so much wild chive. It smelled like onions, but it was not like pungent onions. It was just kind of like fragrant on the cool air. It was just so intoxicating. I can't describe it to you guys. But Mammoth Cave, okay, so my mom and I really were stupid about this. We did not think that... When you think of a cave, you don't think that you're climbing much. You don't think this is going to be rock climbing or anything challenging. You just go through a cave. So we chose the most difficult hike there was. And when we got there, we had to wait because we missed the one tour group that we thought that was ours was like, no, yours is the next one. And I will say that I'm not trying to badmouth the park officials or anything like that, but our guide was, I don't know, a Trump-loving piece of shit. He was one of those kind of guys that brought in political stuff in his, like, subliminally when he talked and everything. You could tell he was a MAGA supporter. He was just a piece of shit. But his partner, she was nice, because she's the one that stayed in the rear, which I'm glad that she did, because as we were walking, it got hot. I mean, you think that caves are cool? No. These caves stayed at a constant temperature of, like, I don't know, like in the 80s. I mean, it was sweltering. And I understand, guys, the cold doesn't affect me very much. It's got to be really rainy and windy to have me bundle up. I did not wear long pants at all while I was in Tennessee, Kentucky, at all. I wore shorts and sometimes a windbreaker, and a very thin windbreaker at that. So I was comfortable as hell. But the problem was, though, Mom can't do a lot of physical exercise. She hasn't done a lot of physical, especially last year. And she started falling behind. I did not realize she was falling behind until we got to this one part of the cave that kind of opened up a little bit. And I was waiting for her, and she was all the way in the back. She had to stop, and the poor God, she's like, "Come on, we gotta keep going." And then there was this, I don't know, like this 5-story scaffolding, and I was so scared that she was gonna have a heart attack, guys. And of course, though, she was like, "I'm so stupid to have done that," but I was stupid too. Why didn't I think of that? I don't remember going in this cave. I don't remember it being this difficult. But yeah, I was scared that Mom was gonna have to be carried out of there. Poor thing. We got out of there, and we didn't do anything else while we were in the park. And you don't have to pay that you're in the park. There's trails that you can go to. You don't have to pay to go on the trails. You basically pay just go into the caves. That's where they make their money. But so there wasn't really anything for us to go out to dinner to. Mom wanted to, I mean, of course, sit down and everything, and I wanted something for I wanted a drink. The problem is, though, we could have gone back to Cracker Barrel and just get one of their flimsy drinks, like their Jack Daniels and lemonade or whatever, the Mike's Lemonade or something like that. Toad School, Rotom, Chansey, Candy, Oinkalong, Spirit Tomb, Ultra Ball, this thing, PayPal, Varoom, and this thing. So I was looking up, and of course the service is kind of spotty there. And the only thing that kept coming up was this restaurant in Bowling Greens. Now, Bowling Greens was about an hour away. And so we decided to go to this place. It did not say we needed a reservation. So we drove there. We got stuck behind this Amish cart and buggy. I mean, first time. And I'm just like, okay, get the thing off the road. Well, I was like, they have to get the cart and buggy. Okay. Anyway. So, get to Bowling Greens, got to the restaurant. I forget what it was called. What kind of food was it? It wasn't the Greek place. I mean, there was a Greek restaurant that was like this beautiful building that was like this like Roman building and everything like that. But this place was nice, and the girl was like, "Do you have a reservation?" And we were like, "No." And she goes, "Well, I do have a seat. I do have a table that's open, but can you be done within like 45 minutes?" And Mom and I were like, "Hell yeah, we can get done by that time." They were so nice. I will put the name of the restaurant up top here. I want you to check them out, guys. And shout out to them. Thank you so much for being so accommodating, so nice. Your food was amazing. Your drinks were amazing. Thank you again. And so we drove back to Pickett, and we got to pass. I wish there was a picture, guys. I'm sorry. We just drove past it. We got to drive past the Kingsford factory, and they had this massive funnel that was just bursting out this tongue of flame. It was probably horrible for the environment, but oh my God, I just was like, that's so cool. And had Mom put on Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. That's what we listened to on the way back. Poor thing. I knew she wasn't going to do anything the next day, and nope, she pretty much stayed in her room the whole day. And day 3 was basically just relaxation. And by relaxation, that means I went hiking. Went to the Indian Rock House, which I thought was an actual structure. No, it's just a cliff face. It's really nice. Don't get me wrong. It's really nice. Then went to this, I guess it was like a turkey roost that led into the forest. And there was like an astronomy field. And it was nice because this walk was nice, but I'll get to a part in a second. So I got all the way, and there's like an overlook. And there's like another trail that goes down it that was like 4 to 5 miles and everything. Time was running out, so I didn't want to take that one. You know, if you're going to do something like that, plan ahead. I didn't bring any water with me. I thought it was just going to be a quick hike and everything. I've learned my lesson over the years. If you're not sure if you can do it, don't do it. And as I was heading back, it loops around this other cliff face and everything, and there was this cave. Had a small waterfall and everything. Now, understand, guys, I don't mind walking in cemeteries at night. I love going hiking by myself. You know, I am aware of my surroundings. So, I get up to this cave and I'm taking some pictures. It was unnervingly, how do I put this? It was eerily calm, spooky calm. Like, the hairs in the back of my neck were standing up as I was getting closer to the cave. And there's sometimes that there's a little voice that tells you not to do something. You listen to that voice. Because I was freaked the fuck out. Because there was no sound. There was no birds. There was no bugs. No crickets. Nothing. All you heard was the sound of the water hitting the ground. But something told me to back away slowly and get the hell out of there. And I did. And still thinking about that kind of creeps me out because I don't know what the fuck was in there. But it was something that I knew that there's some things in this world that you don't need to know. And also, guys, oh my god. So the only person, I passed two people. When I entered into Turkey Roost, that heads to the overlook and everything, was this couple with these two dogs. When I was coming back, there was, I guess, this dad and this little girl, but he was paying no attention to this little girl. She was like way behind him, and she couldn't have been more than like 3 or 4 years old, and he was paying like no attention to her and like walking really fast. Okay, I don't care how you parent, but my parents made sure I was in front. I mean, till I was like 16. You were in front. And yes, it's annoying, but I was not happy with that guy. It gave me bad vibes, but, you know, you just don't know. So, yeah. So that was the end of day 3. It was just basically hiking. And I might want to also add, so we have this thing, Bashar, go, this thing, we got the same damn one before. Okay. So I do want to say that when I got back to the villa, didn't watch any movies. The only thing I did was play Warcraft 3 on my laptop. Woo! Warcraft 3, guys. And I'm talking about Reign of Chaos. And I had played through the human saga before leaving. So I was pretty much on the undead story. And it had been over a decade since I had played. And it was so much fun to play that. And just remembering how much my dad and I loved Warcraft. I don't think he cared too much about the newer ones. He was mostly into Diablo. We both loved StarCraft. But he was more into Diablo and Civilization and everything. I loved Warcraft, StarCraft, and everything. And Reign of Chaos is great. I think it had a great story. I hate what Blizzard did after Frozen Throne and brought out World of Warcraft. Because I don't want to play with other people, okay? Why couldn't you make World of Warcraft and a continuation of 3 for those of us that just want to play a normal game? But, you know, fuck Blizzard. I honestly have to say that because fuck Blizzard. They lost me, but, you know, who fucking cares? Does anyone still play World of Warcraft anymore? You never hear about it anymore. No one ever talks about it. There's no commercials for it either. So, made a mess. So, okay. So, day 4. Is it day 4 that we're doing now? Yeah, so day 4. So the first day we arrived. Second day was basically just relaxation. Then we went to Bowling Greens and Mammoth Cave, and then we went up. Then we had the day off. So, the last full day, we were trying to figure out what we wanted to do. Fido, Dedenne, Pineco, Feel, this thing. I'm hoping that I get something good in this one. It does not look like it. So I decided, let's go up to Norse Dam, because that was one of the places we went to first on that same trip, and then we headed to Pickett. Norse Dam is nice. I mean, it's just a big-ass dam that's near Knoxville. The cabins are not what I remember them. We kind of got stuck up on this cliff looking for a cemetery. That's kind of a different story. So I wanted to find the cemetery that was on the map, but it led to this person's property, and trying to turn around without getting on his property was a bitch. So I'm glad we didn't get stuck. We didn't really do anything in Knoxville anyway. Most of the restaurants that we had remembered were long gone. So we were getting hungry, and I wanted some Italian food. So we went to Clinton. And Clinton had this restaurant, I think it was the Gondolier. Now, I will say, hot girls working at a pizza place is always, you know, top of my list. But when I asked for their cheeser bread, it was just basically a hoagie roll with a slice of cheese that was sort of melted on it. It was not that good. But their pizza, on the other hand, was amazing. And I don't like cold pizza, but I ate that thing getting home without even warming it up. That was so good. So a shout out again to the Gondolier. I would work on your cheese bread a little bit. We stopped at this little creek, and Mom and I collected some rocks. We always collect rocks. You know, cool looking rocks. I know I'm gonna get hatred in the comments, but you know, we did. It's not as bad as when I was a kid. I mean, my pockets were full of rocks, and they're scattered everywhere. But, I mean, Clinton was really nice, and as we were heading back, we passed by this Old West town and everything. Or it's like a property that was like Old West and everything, maybe for like birthday parties or something. And that's pretty much it, guys. And something that's kind of tragic to say is the day, I don't know if it was that day or the day as we were leaving, the actor that played Tommy in Power Rangers passed away. That hit me hard. They say that there's certain people in your childhood that kind of, you know, that ring out, that kind of send a vibe. And this was an earthquake for me because, you know, I love Jason in Power Rangers, but Tommy was, shit, I mean, I watched Power Rangers up until Wild Force. I mean, I know Tommy wasn't in that until, like, they did, like, Forever Red or something. And I know he was in Dino Thunder, but Dino Thunder sucked. But losing Tommy, and it still weighs heavily on me, and I know it's like the 1 year anniversary, or that's already passed, but yeah, that was hard. Scatterbug, Shuppet, Birthito, this thing. Come on, give me at least something that I haven't gotten yet. This is going to be a dud. So we headed out around, we cleaned everything, we washed all the dishes, turned in the keys and headed home. And here's where my dumbass should have booked a hotel for the night. Because it was 15 hours drive. We were both exhausted getting back to Florida. I mean, just, and of course everyone has, Christmas trees were out and everything. But yeah, I mean, there would have been a great time to actually stop, I don't know, maybe in Tifton or something to get a small hotel room or something. But I've learned my lesson on that. One, check out the hotel, because when I talk about Asheville, maybe we'll talk about Asheville the next time. And my dumbass mistake with that. And also, check out your hotel. Make sure that you read the reviews. Secondly, see your time. Because if you're going to be tired driving home and it's a long way home, get a hotel. There's no shame in getting home, you know, the next day. And that was my trip to Pickett last year, guys. Like I said, just thinking about stuff to talk about. And nothing too memorable. I hope Mom can do it in 2025. I'm hoping to take her up maybe to West Virginia. I would love to go back to Pickett. And before I went to the Philippines, my vacation plans for 2024 was to go to Davy Crockett State Park, which is also in Tennessee, on the cusp of Alabama and Tennessee. But I'm going back up to the Philippines for a longer stay with my girlfriend. And then in 2025, I'll take my mom somewhere. But yeah, that's it. But let's finish this up. This thing, drowsy, this. Come on, please give me something. And no, guys, this has been a dud. I didn't even get one. I don't know if I've already got this one. I probably already do. These ugly ass Pokemon that turn into motorcycles. You know, I used to always give a lot of guff to Final Fantasy 13 with Snow and his Eladon, whatever the hell the summons are. The two girls that can Shiva that can turn into the motorcycle and everything. That's actually bitchin'. This is not bitchin'. This is just a Pokemon that became your bicycle because Game Freak didn't want to have a regular bicycle. They have to have a Pokemon that is kind of like your slave to travel around. And it kind of reminds me of Ronan and Bane in Harry Potter when they got mad at Firenze for letting Harry ride on him. And I would think the Pokemon world would probably see that as that. You're just a common mule, and you're ugly as sin, too. I can't stand it. But I've talked enough about how much I can't stand the Pokemon these days, so yeah. But I can't believe nothing was new in this. So I don't know how many I've left. I know trying to get all the special illustration ones. So maybe we'll do a Christmas one next. So look forward to that, guys. I will see you next time. Bye.